Rachel and I have just moved to Tucson in the past few days. We took a 3-day trip, drove 22 hours, and we are starting 2025 with a training camp in Tucson, Arizona. He is getting me into coffee, so I have 2 shots of espresso coffee that I'll be drinking before the bike ride today, and it tastes pretty good. I never really drank coffee my whole life, but I think I may be starting. So on the schedule today, I have 4 hours of biking. It is pretty cold right now. It's in the 30s Fahrenheit. So I'm going to start inside and do a 45-minute max aerobic power test, where I bike at my max aerobic heart rate for 45 minutes. And then Rachel and I are going to go outside, bike for a little bit, come back, and then run after that. So let's head inside and get ready to get on the bike. The equipment I'm using today is the Cycplus T3 Smart Trainer, which I just got last month. For those of you following this channel for a while, my previous trainer was so loud that it sounded like a jet engine. So I know this trainer is going to be a game changer for when I'm training inside on the bike. I had a little calibration issue based on the last video. The power difference was about 10 to 20 watt difference. Since then, I calibrated it, updated the firmware, and it's now pretty accurate. It's within 1 to 3 watts from my power pedals, which I use for racing and training. So I know this trainer's power is going to be very accurate, and it's going to complement my bike training very well. At first, it came with an 11-speed cassette. So it's compatible with 9, 10, 11, and 12. It's very simple to change out the cassette. So I had a 12-speed cassette that I switched out so I could put my bike, which is a 12-speed bike, on this trainer, and it shifts fantastic. The flywheel is great. So this is our setup inside for our bike trainer for our short-term lease here in Tucson.
Yeah, we're staying here for about 2 months. We're both doing partially indoors, partially outdoors for our longer ride today.
A little bit chilly outside. It's like 32 degrees Fahrenheit this morning. So we're hopping on the trainer for most of it and then heading outside once the temperature gets a little bit warmer.
And then we both gotta run off.
Yeah.
And that'll wrap up our Saturday of training.
Yeah. So now after the warm-up, I have a 45-minute max aerobic power test where the target is holding a 150 to 160 heart rate and seeing how much power I push. The goal is to ride at a steady pace and progress in a few weeks. So like next week, I may do 55 minutes or 1 hour, and I'll see if I can try to get the same power I do today for 45 minutes. Maybe up to 2.5, 3 hours for a training ride. This will give me a good idea of where my aerobic power is at right now, and I can kind of test this throughout the 2025 training season. So since I'm doing 70.3 and Ironman distances, my bike times ranges from 2 hours to 4.5 hours. So doing this kind of test will allow me to maximize my aerobic capacity. So instead of doing FTP tests every single week, where mentally it's very draining and physically, I can use this aerobic test to gauge my fitness throughout my training and do this test pretty often. So this is the first max aerobic test for 2025.
You
ended up pushing 244 watts and was trying to go for the full hour. That test was done, very successful. I think I went out too hard, like in the 260s wattage wise, and then I had to drop down to 250 and pretty much stayed 245 watts for pretty much the whole thing. It's getting a little bit warmer, the sun is out. We're here in Tucson for 2 months, and I'm lucky to have Rachel with me. She understands what training is like, the grind, eating, sleeping, working out, right, to chase after our dreams. And it's nice weather, so that's why we came down here. So we just wanted to set ourselves up for success, to build a solid foundation, lots of aerobic, zone 2, steady work on the bike, run, and trying to connect with other people with swim groups, swim teams here. Next up is completing my bike ride outside. So ended up just doing an hour and a half outside. My energy levels suddenly dropped, and I haven't had a long ride in like 2 weeks, so I just shut it down, came back. Gonna eat some food before heading out to my run. I think I'm gonna take April with me. But got some pretty good data today. 1 hour at 244 watts. I really like this test. I give it to my athletes and just kind of see where they're at before starting their build to their races in the spring and the summer. Gonna eat a sandwich or something and then head off to the run for the last workout of the day. Tucson's been treating us pretty well. We are going to Aquabear swim team, the group here, potentially the Tucson shootout next Saturday, and the Oro Valley pool 10 minutes away from us. So we're going to be having an adventure and learning more about Oro Valley, Tucson, and letting you guys know what we're up to. And as we prep for our 7.3 Oceanside, both of our first races of the season of 2025. I'm pretty excited to take you on this journey another year, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. It's our good test to gauge where my fitness levels are at. Okay.
Gauge.
And it tastes pretty good. Welcome to Tucson.